Alright, so even though I like to present myself as a VTuber news channel, I'm not gonna lie, every once in a while I like to delve into just pure drama. And I found some drama on my homepage, but before I can actually get into the drama, we gotta go all the way to the beginning. I'm going to look at the original tweet, look at the original controversy, I'm going to record my own news segment about it without being biased by Kyo's video about it. Then I'm going to go ahead and watch his video, and then I'm going to react to the controversy about his video. Alright, are we all on the same page? Perfect. So let's take a look at this tweet by Glitch Energy. So they say, please help us welcome the newest member to the Glitch fam, Marina VT. She is a VTuber with the perfect combo of sass, wit, and charm. With her personality, the content is unforgettable. Use code Marina for 20% off at glitchenergy.com. Hot emoji. And now, I'm gonna be completely honest, just looking at this one tweet at complete and total face value, I don't see anything wrong with this. It seems like a very generic cross promotion between an energy drink company and a VTuber. This is something I want to see more of. I have no idea why this is even a controversy in the first place. So let's take a closer look. Alright, it took me approximately 0.5 seconds to find out why this is a controversy, and that is, I see a lot of hidden replies. I immediately start seeing hidden replies. The only tweets that are visible are like, welcome Marina, congrats. This guy going, that's a dude by the way, like, who gives a shit? I always find this such a weird criticism because even if it is a dude, then who gives a shit? Like, easily one of my favorite VTubers is the Porcelain Maid, and he's a dude with a female avatar. Can we please get beyond this stupid insult that people like to throw around? They're a dude, who gives a shit? Alright, but let's get into the actual controversy, and that is the hidden replies. So let's take a look at these one by one. You have sponsored a harasser. Color me surprised. Hard pass, too toxic for me. Makes sense, she's just as toxic as your energy drinks. Now we finally get to the part that actually explains why so many of these comments are hidden. Isn't this the one who harassed Pikami? Yes, the person who got triggered by the video game Hogwarts Legacy and harassed another VTuber Pikami for planning to play it. What a great choice, and one you couldn't possibly regret. No, she attacked Pikami and others who wanted to play and enjoy Hogwarts Legacy. Now, even though I know absolutely nothing about this particular VTuber or their content, do you remember the Pikami Hogwarts Legacy thing very well? Now, I have absolutely no idea if this particular VTuber harassed anybody at all, because I've never heard of them before in my life, and I've done absolutely zero research on their history of tweets to see if any of this is true. By the replies, it is at the very least the public perception that she is one of the people responsible for Pikami getting harassed and eventually leaving and rebranding and joining VShoujo as Henya. But despite having done absolutely zero research to verify these claims, I also have no idea why so many people would be making the exact same claim on this post if it weren't true. Alright, and as I was scrolling, I found this tweet. Here are the evidence for those who don't know this troon, and for anyone unfamiliar, troon is a slur for trans people. He, actively misgendering Marina, okay, cool, harassed other VTubers for playing Hogwarts Legacy on release date, especially Pikami. Don't buy this shitty drink, they're supporting a radical troon activist. Before I even look at these tweets, I do want to just publicly come out and say, I don't respect anyone who uses the word troon, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with being trans, and I'm very sick and tired of the blatant transphobia we see all over Twitter. Just because a couple of trans people on the internet have done things you don't like doesn't mean every single one of them is a horrible person innately. But I'll get off my soapbox and actually look at the quote-unquote evidence they've provided and see if it has any validity. So here we have Marina saying, if you're a trans ally and not gonna stream or promote the mediocre wizard game, let us know. I think too many trans streamers / viewers are feeling unsupported, and I'd love to know who's with us. Which, I gotta say, if this is your smoking gun, doesn't feel like a smoking gun. They don't like the game, and they're free to have an opinion? I don't see how this is a smoking gun. They just said they don't like the game. Alright, here we go. I'm confused how you think you're the victim here. You expressed interest, thus promoted something to you following. Man, nobody in this tweet thread has any concept of grammar. Anyway, in something that harms the trans community and people express their concerns or issues. It's copium to think there's nothing wrong with streaming it. Okay, here we go. Finally, some evidence that she was part of the people actively replying and complaining to people who are streaming the Hogwarts Legacy video game. And you know what? I hate people who do this. What other people do on their own stream is none of your business. If you don't like it, you vote with your view and you don't watch it and you don't promote it. I think she's in the wrong for this behavior. But also, on the flip side, when the Pikami drama was at its peak, there were definitely a lot of people saying way nastier shit. So even though I don't endorse this at all, this is far from the worst example of this behavior. At the very least, they are being relatively civil with their opinions, regardless of how blatantly unwanted they were. Look, I have seen a lot of comments saying that she explicitly started a harassment campaign against Pikami, and I'm not seeing evidence of those accusations anywhere. This is the closest thing to proof I can see of that claim. So whether or not any of this is true, I have no idea. But one thing I do know for certain is that the actual energy drink company that is being currently bashed by the entire Twitter community for sponsoring this streamer, I guarantee you they had absolutely no idea of any of this history, because 99% of company sponsor advocates don't get into the nitty-gritty of someone's Twitter history and drama history before sponsoring. It's some minimum wage employee who just sends emails out to popular people and then they give sponsorship codes to anyone who responds. Like, it's not that deep, in my opinion. So even though 99% of the time I'm the first in line to bash a company over anything, I really don't think this is their fault. But what I do think is their fault is hiding all of the replies and trying to smother valid criticism about who they're choosing to sponsor. People have the right to tell other people about issues with the people they're sponsoring, and I don't like this sort of sanitization that they're trying to do of their promotional campaign. However, paradoxically, by hiding the tweets, since you can still click on view hidden replies, you're actually bringing more attention to the very thing that you don't want to bring attention to, and you're creating a convenient list of all of the tweets saying the very thing that you don't want publicized. So not only do I not like the fact that you're doing this, the fact that you're doing this is ultimately hurting you. But the criticism doesn't stop there, as I found in the quote retweets we have Taiga, who we've covered on this channel before as someone who was accused of being a pedophile, and then later came out with his own document combating those allegations. Here he is saying, "Reminder, Marina refused to take down a libel document calling me a pedophile, written by an abuser who actually date raped a trans girl on her 18th birthday. She's an actual middle school teacher who sexualizes being a teacher as her VTuber gimmick." So let's go through this part by part. Number one, I have no idea if this is true, but if true, that's pretty damning. The second part, I remember reading this in the document that he released, and it was this part that kind of made me step away from this sort of VTuber drama, because it's a whole lot of he said, she said, and it's impossible to verify anything, and I have no idea if the person coming out against Taiga is making valid claims, or is what Taiga's saying valid. It's, in my opinion, I hate controversies like this where it's just a bunch of out of context screenshots that two parties are flinging at each other to make the other person look bad, and it's almost impossible to know who's in the right and who's in the wrong, and ultimately this whole thing should be in court instead of the court of public opinion. And then as far as this third part, I don't give a shit if she's actually a teacher who has a teacher gimmick for part of being a VTuber, because she's a VTuber. Her real identity and her identity as a teacher are separate, and therefore she can do whatever the fuck she wants. The whole point of being a virtual YouTuber is the fact that you get to be anonymous and you get to separate your online persona with your real life history. That's the entire draw of this genre in the first place. So I personally don't give a shit about that last segment. Now, of course, Marina, having received a bunch of fresh backlash for an old controversy, has gone ahead and combated some of the controversy with her own statement. She goes on to discredit the people who are attacking her. She claims that expressing disagreement and disapproval is not the same thing as harassment when it comes to the Hogwarts Legacy drama. She denies doxing anyone, which I didn't even realize was an allegation. She denies launching a hate brigade. She denies harassing Pika-Me specifically. She denies harassing Silvervale. Apparently there was an accusation that she celebrated a trans person who became a mass shooter, which she again denies. She goes on to say that her sexualized teacher roleplay isn't a big deal because she's not currently a teacher, and is strongly against any teacher-student roleplay that is child-coded or involves children. She does admit that she doesn't like Taiga and doesn't think he belongs in the community, but says she never actually accused him of being convicted or taking part in any pedo activity, which based on what I'm hearing isn't actually the part that people have an issue with. It's the fact that you were calling them out and trashing them and saying they don't belong in the community. So, I don't know, you're kind of admitting to the very thing that people are accusing you of, in my opinion. So, this part appears to be a valid criticism that even they admit. And it seems that this rebuttal of hers has been met with absolutely no sympathy or support, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, if you're at the point in this community where you need to make a tweet that's longer than my fucking screen at 25% zoom covering 8 separate controversies, if I were in the same position you were in, I would honestly just leave. There's no way I could stay in a community if there were this many public controversies that I had to go out and defend myself against every single time I did anything publicly, like get a energy drink sponsorship. This would be too much for me to withstand personally, and I would leave. And that's not me calling for her to leave. I'm just saying if the evidence was this stacked against me, I wouldn't stick around, and that's all I'm saying. So now that I've done my own independent research and reporting on the issue, I'm going to record Kyo's video. We're going to compare it to mine, and then we're going to take a look at why Kyo was being criticized for his video, and we'll see if I'm guilty of any of the same things that Kyo was guilty of. Let's take a watch.
So today we're going to be talking about a topic that's been going on for about a week or so now that involves this VTuber by the name of Marina. Marina has recently partnered with Glitch Energy, with them saying please help us welcome the newest member of the Glitch fam, Marina VT. And this received a ton of replies of people just saying congrats Marina, I'm happy to see Glitch continue on supporting and partnering with more amazing creators. And plenty of other people just congratulating Marina with the partnership with Glitch. However, as you can see, there are a lot of hidden replies to this tweet. But some of you may wonder what those hidden replies entail, and that is a lot of people saying things like kind of weird to want someone that harasses people over a video game, slandered another VTuber falsely as a pedophile, and is all around problematic for your brand. Other people saying you have sponsored a harasser, color me surprised. Makes sense, she's just as toxic as your energy drinks. Very bad choice. Had interest in trying your products in the past, to the point where I was browsing them this past week, but this just sealed the fact that I won't be supporting. You might want to rethink this one, guys. She's a toxic bully who likes to make other girls cry and harass them off the internet for playing video games she doesn't like. The list just goes on with people talking about this sponsorship and questioning why they would partner with Marina. People even quote retweeting this saying weird time for Glitch to lock the reply. And here is someone that showed some screenshots of Marina actually did, saying so you want to try and manipulate shit because we are calling you what you are, Marina VT? Your reputation was ruined because of your own BS, not us pointing it out. And they show a screenshot of Marina adding her Discord saying, hi gamers, I need to ask a favor from supporters. My Glitch announcement caught the attention of the transphobes, and there's a lot of trolls who are trying to harass me / Glitch and spread the same old rumors about me harassing people. The classic trans people are harassers thing. If I could ask for people to comment some positive things on the thread, I would appreciate it. Please don't engage with the trolls or negativity directly, but just expressing interest or positivity would be helpful for me right now when this group is trying so hard to drag me and my reputation. I really appreciate it. They showed another screenshot of Marina back in January saying if you're a trans ally and not going to stream or promote the mediocre wizard game, let us know. I think too many trans streamers / viewers are feeling unsupported, and I'd love to know who's with us. And then they also showed this screenshot of Marina responding to a now deleted tweet saying, I'm confused how you think you're the victim here. You expressed interest, thus promoted something to your following, and something that harms the trans community and people express their concerns or issues. It's copium to think, quote, there's nothing wrong with streaming it. And then another quote where retweet that got quite the traction said, yep, the one that supported a school shooter because they were trans and tried to harass and dox people for playing Hogwarts Legacy. And now there was another VTuber by the name of Kyo that said, I personally think people like Marina that refuse to self-reflect, dismiss any bit of criticism as transphobia, and use gender identity as a weapon do more harm than good for transgender, non-binary, and LGBTQ plus folks everywhere when they decide to speak loudly for everyone. And this was finally the reply that actually got Marina to respond, saying, alright, let's take a look at some things then. Grams makes a vague post like this and then blocks me without any kind of explanation or attempt at communication is something I would expect from the trolls, but seeing from someone who I would expect to be more professional is disappointing to say the least. For those who are unaware, over the past few days I have been getting brigaded by various people in the lolicon community and just general bad actors slash trolls. This was sparked by someone who has a long history of being problematic, Melia the Maid. Melia has been harassing and stalking me for months, tweeting about me constantly and encouraging their followers to harass me. In a recent tweet they said, quote, when it comes to Marina, someone who celebrated getting my account suspended 2 times on here, I make exceptions. I'll be sure to make his life hell while staying within TOS. Marina continues by saying, when it comes to many of the people that come in from this community, the main intention from them is to harass and cause harm by any means necessary. This is seen through lies and mischaracterizations, slurs and misgendering, and harassing others that question the lack of evidence or irrelevance of the screenshots they do provide. The general behavior and bad faith interactions of the majority of these people are the reason I refer to them as trolls. Regardless of being trolls, let's take a look at some of the talking points that get shared. 1. Marina harassed people for playing Hogwarts Legacy. During the early months of this year, I was very outspoken about my views on Hogwarts Legacy, my perspective as a trans curator, and my thoughts about whether or not people should.
I was originally intending to wait until the very end before making any commentary, but good God, if I have one criticism of Kyo in general, it's the fact that he feels the need to go through every single syllable on a tweet for, I guess, the sake of completion. And in my opinion, I feel like people come to a news video to get a summary so they can consume the information more quickly and conveniently than if they had just gone there themselves. That is a very mild criticism, but I'm just saying, do people a favor and summarize large quantities of information. It's part of the job. Come on, man, you're killing me. I don't know, after watching that video, with the knowledge that somehow this video is intended to be controversial, I don't really see anything wrong with it personally. In fact, if anything, his video is more objective and less opinionated than my own. Because if someone is delivering drama content as news, there's a lot of things that you can criticize them for. For example, having a shitty hot take, right? A lot of people in the comment section of this video are probably going to criticize me for my hot takes and disagree with my opinions, which is kind of the entire point of a comment section. But as far as the actual video himself, he doesn't really make any statement one way or the other. He presents people who are attacking Marina and people criticizing Marina as more or less equal and doesn't really interject much opinion. I mean, personally, I like to jump in and provide my opinion because I feel like my opinion as someone who's been doing this sort of content for over a year is inherently valuable. Plus, I want to inspire discussion in the comments and get people really revved up to talk about, you know, who's in the right, who's in the wrong. I like to instigate discussion. So if I really had to put a score to it or whatever, I would actually argue people are probably going to be more angry with me for how I cover the news than they would be for Kyo for how he covers the news, because he is just so vanilla. Because his coverage is just vanilla. It's completely unseasoned. But let's take a look at what the criticism actually is, and we'll go from there and we'll see what we see. So this is his post where he actually advertises the video. Let's see what people are saying in the comments down below. We've got a lot of fan comments saying, glad you're covering this. I gotta say, you've certainly improved from your early days of simply reporting on waitlist drama, stirring it up and causing more drama. Good, someone is covering this. So there's a lot of fans of Kyo who are saying positive things. Just happy that this controversy is being brought to light. Now, Marina went ahead and commented under his tweet, and to summarize what she said, she complained that he censored certain parts of certain tweets, saying that by cutting out the curse words and slurs to make it YouTube friendly, you're actually cutting out vital information, which I feel like it's relatively easy to infer what's being said. You don't need to literally see every word verbatim, but I also agree that it's kind of annoying to see censored content. She complains that his previous video about Taiga seemed pretty clear that he supported Taiga after that exoneration document, which I gotta say, I watched that video. Kyo's not the person to outwardly support or condemn anyone explicitly. His opinions that he gives are so limited in quantity and lacking in depth that I feel like it's so weird hearing him called out for saying, your previous video that you made and reference seems pretty clear that you supported Taiga after that, quote, exoneration document. And I gotta say, as someone who's watched countless Kyo videos, my biggest complaint is the fact that he doesn't give enough of his opinion, which I would actually like to see more of. So to hear him criticized for giving an opinion is just kind of funny to me. Just reading through her response, if I have any criticism of Marina, it's that I hate the way that she types out her tweets. Everything is worded in such a, like, clinical, like, office type of way. This feels like an email that you would send to someone's parent. It's all using corpo speak to obfuscate your actual opinions to seem a hell of a lot more neutral and professional than you actually are. It's very frustrating. I don't like people who talk like this. I challenge you to explore the idea, like, God damn it, just say what you want to say. You don't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs to communicate your idea. Jesus Christ, woman, just say what you want to say. I don't even disagree with any of her points. I just hate the way she talks. God damn it. Oh my God, everything you say in your tweets sounds like my middle school teacher. But honestly, aside from being irritated that this feels less like a tweet and more like a work email, I don't really see anything inherently wrong with her reply. Now, there are definitely people who are attacking Kyo for his coverage, such as this comment saying, Kyo, you can do better. This was presented so bad, putting so much focus on the accusations, so much time. It honestly felt like Marina was getting attacked. I'm sure that's not your intention, but it was all done very badly. What are you talking about? He covered the tweets very neutrally and presented very little opinion. How can you complain about his presentation when his presentation was so lukewarm? Of course he's putting focus on the accusations. The accusations are the content. The accusations are the point of the entire video. Do you not understand how news and drama videos work? The accusations and the anger and the backlash are the substance of the video that you're making, because that's the interesting part. That's the conflict point. That's where you generate the most intrigue and views and comments. I strongly disagree with this comment because I feel like they missed the entire point of a drama/news video entirely. And then we have this comment saying, if you can't accurately cover a VTuber news story without censoring and cutting out crucial information because of YouTube's guidelines, maybe you shouldn't be making the video at all. This comment hurts my brain a lot because they present the very reason for the thing that they're mad about with absolutely no self-awareness. You're mad that he is censoring things and then fully admit it's because of YouTube's guidelines. So maybe, I don't know, this might hurt your fucking brain a little bit. Maybe that's YouTube's fault for forcing content creators to dance around the subject for fear of getting their video demonetized. Your complaint isn't really with Kyo, it's with YouTube. I agree it's annoying, but that's explicitly not his fault, and you acknowledge the reason for it in your comment. Jesus fuck, you hurt my brain. Why do you always have the worst thumbnails? What's wrong with his thumbnail? I don't know, if you feel like this is a bad thumbnail, then you probably hate all of his thumbnails because this looks like every single other one of his thumbnails. I don't know what to tell you. And now we get into the tweet that was quote retweeted that spawned this whole video. This video is irresponsible from Kyo, but I am not going to critique for the content, but rather the presentation, and how I think videos from other creators like this are inherently harmful for VTubing. Okay, this should be interesting. Get some things straight. Drama content is here to stay. No shit. At the end of the day, it gets views and views make money and people chase money. You're 100% right. Although you do say you don't personally do it, but I have personally seen you weigh in on drama multiple times. I have no idea where this soapbox is coming from, Ducky. I've been following you on your Twitter page and your actual news article website. You 100% weigh in on drama. Then he goes on to say, I live in a place with strict defamation laws. This skews my opinion. Well, at least he's admitting his biases. I appreciate that. I believe if you make news-like content, even if it's drama, you have extra responsibilities. Okay, this should be interesting. The presentation of the tweets without any questioning of the claims against Marina, intentionally or not, showcases them as fact. This frames Marina as guilty and leads them to even more disinformation and hatred. From my perspective, I feel like this isn't 100% a valid criticism. Like, don't get me wrong. I 100% would rather he input his opinion because I value his opinion, because this is something he has done for a living for, what, a year, 2 years now? I don't know how long he's been on here, but a long ass time. I too would value his opinion, but he has, for whatever reason, chosen to present himself as neutral. And I have to imagine that is to minimize the backlash he receives for voicing his opinions, because the intersection of Twitter and VTuber culture is a toxic cesspit of hatred, and any opinion is the wrong opinion, and people are gonna jump down your throat and try to strangle you for having an opinion. And so, even though I don't like it, I 100% understand why he does what he does, and why he's trying to be as impartial as he is. And as a matter of fact, I see constant comments on his videos and his tweets where people thank him for being objective and letting people form their own opinions. First time I've seen people be genuinely mad at Kyo for being too neutral. He goes on to say, in Australia where I live, this video would be grounds for defamation. I don't believe you. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't believe you. It spreads libelous comments. Well, yes, he is sharing the libelous comments, but the comments are still real, and the comments are part of the discussion, and choosing not to showcase public opinion does a disservice to the content when the content is public opinion. Censoring and cherry-picking comments based on ones that fit your own narrative is objectively worse, because then you're skewing the truth to fit your own narrative. Public interest defense isn't strong enough. What do you mean? This is all in the public interest. What are you talking about? Truth defense would need a big burden of proof. What are you talking about? First of all, why are you treating this like it is a legal matter when we're talking about something as low stakes as VTuber news? Look, guys, listen to me. VTuber drama is not nearly as serious as actual news. That's part of the reason I do it. I mean, politics is more important. Earthquakes and natural disasters are more important. Mass shootings are more important. There's a lot of serious and brutal and hardcore shit in the world that genuinely affects people's lives, right? There is some hard-hitting shit that people need to know. VTuber news is fucking meaningless in the grand scheme of things. Whether or not a VTuber gets a sponsorship with an energy drink company, at the end of the day, doesn't matter at all. But you're here treating this like this is nail-biting political news that we all need to treat with the utmost seriousness. You're treating this man like a criminal for the crime of you not liking how he does his VTuber news videos. I wouldn't have an issue with the way Ducky is presenting these tweets if he didn't bring legality into it, because legality is not a factor. This is fucking anime people news. It's totally fine for you to not like his video style. That's totally fine. I disagree with you, but it's fine. You cannot treat this like a legal matter. It's just not that serious. Commentators also like to say, I'm not saying anything, like that's a proper defense. The way you present comments, the things you choose to include, omit, speak the same volume as anything that actually comes out of your mouth. Many don't wield this power responsibly. I feel like that comment can be true and not true depending on the circumstance. If you make a channel that is explicitly only showing, like, let's say, black people committing crime, you present yourself as a news commentator, but the only news you ever cover is black people committing crimes, and you never showcase black people doing good things, you never show white people committing crime, then yeah, absolutely. That would be content where the content that you show, regardless of how neutrally presented, would be clearly biased and clearly have an agenda. But in the video that all of us watching this video just watched, he's presenting both sides, the criticism and the defense, all without voicing much of his opinion at all. And what that does is it allows people to make their own opinions. And the fact that that's the way he's handling the video completely torpedoes your entire point. And I don't think that's a valid criticism. I say these things because I'm passionate about news and news media. Bro, shut the fuck up. We know. You don't need to say you're passionate. You wouldn't be making this comment if you weren't. You're saying so many words to communicate so little. I want it to be responsibly and ethically reported. No shit. I deduced that from your content. This story falls short by about a mile. No, it doesn't. I believe creators like Kyo can improve. God, you're so condescending. In fact, I've been a pretty big proponent of saying he has improved over time and people should give him a chance. I just think this video falls short and helps perpetuate unverified slander against an outstanding creator. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There we have it. This very last sentence tells me everything I need to know about his response. This tells me everything. He happens to like Marina VT, which is totally fine. I don't care. That's not an issue for me. But he likes the content creator, and he saw a VTuber news video about that content creator where he dared just show people making accusations against his favorite creator and is trying to make it seem like there is some objective, terrible, low-quality reporting going on just for the sin of showing the fact that people don't like a content creator. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That tells you everything you need to know. This is not unbiased news as he intends to purport that it is. He's just butthurt. But at the risk of sounding like a hypocrite, I should also come clean. It's not fair for me to attack somebody else for being extremely biased when I myself am extremely biased. So let me go ahead and take this opportunity to also disclose my biases. I love Kyo. I like the stuff that he makes. I like his videos. I think the hatred against him is largely invalid. And it's no secret to anyone that I model my own content after his. He's been a huge inspiration to me that made me realize that VTuber news content can be something that can be a career, and my channel exploded in subscribers and views because of it. I owe him a lot. And the few opportunities I've had to speak to him directly have been nothing but pleasant. I am the most biased person in the world who could be making this content. So even though I'm making fun of Ducky for being biased, I myself am probably even more biased because I'm actively making this video with the sole biased intention of defending the content creator that I like. I am not even going to pretend I am doing this for some noble or altruistic means. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm being completely 100% fair. I genuinely believe everything that I'm saying is the truth. And I hope the people who watch this video agree with me and understand my points and think that I am the one being rational and the people that I don't like are irrational. But at the end of the day, I am still hella fucking biased. But what I hope is that by telling you my opinion, but also disclosing my opinion and letting you know what my biases are, you can use that as a jumping off point to make your own opinions. Even though I have my own opinions about the facts and tweets presented, I'm still showing you uncensored all of the tweets. And I have shown you tweets that are both for and against what I actually believe. So even if you disagree with me, you can do so easily by pointing towards the tweets that I present to you that I disagree with. You're an adult who can make your own decisions, and I invite you to do so. I'm now going to get off my high horse and go back to reporting on the VTuber drama that this has spawned. Kinisu coming in and saying, I have my own bias coming into this, however I do want to question this part here. The presentation of the tweets without any questioning of the claims against Marina, either intentionally or not, showcases them as fact. I'm confused on this statement, given the fact that the majority of the video is showcasing Marina's side regarding the claims. Facts though! Holy shit! I didn't even think of that. I didn't even catch that. He's 100% right. Holy shit. Good catch. Leading with all the negative claims and then not critically addressing them when reading through Marina's thread is the issue. It's then framed on the tail end directly after the more negativity and rejection of Marina's points, despite the fact that they're all unverified. He literally just admitted his only issue with the video is that he's not interjecting his own bias and own opinion into his reporting. He just admitted that he's mad that he didn't argue against people calling out the larger content creator. He's just mad that Kyo isn't publicly agreeing with all of Ducky's points and letting people make their own opinions. Wow. Wow. Most of the negative claims levied against Marina in the tweets, which come at the beginning of the video, are directly addressed within her statement, which is presented in full. Yo! Facts though. Unless he were to take a firm stance and claim that Marina's counterpoints are valid. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. 10 points to Gryffindor. He has successfully deduced what Ducky is actually saying. He's pointing out that Ducky's only criticism is that Kyo didn't take a firm stance and claim that Marina's counterpoints are valid. There it is, folks. There it is, folks. There it is. Ducky, they are not different than when you write something. Oh, shit. Facts though. L is all I see from you. Of course you write for Dexerto, Common Journo L. You know what the weird part is at the end of the day? Regardless of the fact that I don't respect his opinion on this one particular issue, I still follow him. And I'm still gonna continue following him, and I'm still gonna read all of his Dexerto articles and read his tweets whenever he talks about VTuber news. Because even though he has a hot take that I vehemently disagree with, the fact that he brings up points that are counter to my own gives me a perspective that I would not get if I were to live in my own bubble and only consume the content of the people who explicitly agree with me. And honestly, I feel like you guys should do the same. I'm gonna get back on my high horse real quick. No matter how much you disagree with someone's opinion, it is still good to get a variety of opinions, and not just isolate yourself to the people you agree with. Even though I could not disagree more with Ducky in this particular instance any more than I currently do. Because of his history of making content that I do agree with and do think is well produced, I'm gonna keep consuming his content, straight up. And I don't think one bad hot take disqualifies his legacy of good work. You can agree or disagree with me on that particular fact. I am very anxious to hear all of your opinions in the comments down below. And we will end the video with the tweet that started this entire rabbit hole. I was gonna give this a serious response, but arguing with people on Twitter is stupid. If you think me reading a person's response to a situation is treating them as factual, then good for you. I love Kyo so much. Kyo does not give his opinion very often, and when he does, I love his responses. He doesn't even disagree with Ducky after he makes this long-ass tweet thread bashing him. What a legend. What an absolute legend. By your same logic, I'm treating every single tweet I've ever shared in a video as factual, even Marina's, whose entire statement I read. Bro, facts though. Bro, that's such a good point. You can continue to try and have some high ground when it comes to being a journalist. I'm not one, nor do I even care for the title. Yo, I cover dumb Twitter and VTuber stuff. Yes! Yes! Thank you, Kyo. Yes! Bro, you remember my whole rant at the video where I was like, VTuber news is not as serious as like earthquakes and politics? He's legitimately making the same point that I made earlier. Yes! Ah, the validation I feel. I feel so good to be right. Oh, mind you, this is a 14-minute video. I started reading Marina's response at 4 minutes, all the way to about 11 to 12 minutes. Facts! I am so glad I didn't read this tweet before going through the rabbit hole, because with the context of all the drama that superseded this, it makes everything he says hit so much better. Before I read these two tweets, I just want to say Kyo started this off by saying he's not going to get involved in a Twitter argument, and then the very next series of tweets I read are him getting involved in a Twitter argument. On, you said you weren't going to do this, here you are doing it. Come on, buddy. But let's see what Ducky has to say. Look at the replies on your video and you'll see that while you don't intend them to be fact, people are seeing it as such. That's because people can make their own fucking opinions. They can make up their own fucking mind because they're an adult. Oh my God. I think that's the important bit. It's the presentation and not the actual content. Oh my God. Imagine making a multi-tweet thread bashing someone for their video and then making a tweet where you say, literally, my issue is not with your content. Bro, imagine saying that unironically. You bash somebody's content for multiple tweets and then later say, I don't have an issue with your content. Imagine. All right, let's see what Kyo has to say. People will watch 1 minute of a video and then instantly choose a side if they already dislike one person. I read Marina's tweet, the exact same I read all prior tweets in that video. Who the fuck cares? Let's go! I'm so excited to hear Kyo say fuck because he doesn't swear very often. Who the fuck cares if people side with her or don't? It's left to them to decide after watching the video to make whatever decision they choose. That's what I'm saying! You don't get to control what people believe in or who they choose to side with. I covered the story as an unbiased third party and presented everything I had, aside from a reply from Marina. I myself didn't see. Again, I'm not a journalist and never wish to be called one. God, I have never seen a tweet from Kyo that made me this happy. Holy shit. Solid points. Solid points across the board. Fuck yeah. All right, well, that's the story, guys. That is every relevant detail I could squeeze into this video without this video being an hour and a half long. And as I'm speaking, I'm looking at the record timer and I'm currently at an hour and 25 minutes. So that was an absolute lie. I have no idea how I'm going to edit this down into a reasonable length. I'm sorry for the massive video and not just getting to the point as quickly as possible. I had so much I wanted to say about this. I had so many opinions to give. And of course, as always, I am beyond excited to read every single comment in that comment section down below. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, I do read every comment. And I am genuinely excited to see what the people have to say. Even if you disagree with me, I still want to hear what you think because I don't exist in a fucking bubble where I only hear my own opinion and the people who agree with me. That is everything from me, guys. I will see you in the next video!